In this class UML notation, here this symbol represents note. It's act as a comment. So it's not a part of this class notation. Is just represents a note or a comment. So first one is class name, and second section is the attributes, and third section is the operation. Here the operation, through this operation the objects are communicate with each other. The next one is the representation of object in a UML notation. Here the first is also represented as a rectangle. In the first section it defines the object names and class name. Object name colon class name. So display is the class name. It has an object, that is object name is D1. So it underline the line specifies it's a object. This is not a class, it's an object that is represented by this underline on this object name colon class name. And attribute containing pixel. Pixel is an array of pixel that containing the content of the display, and another attribute is main item, and this one is the node. So this is the object representation. In this object, D1 represents the instance of the class display, and display class defines the pixel attributes seen in the object. And here when we instantiate the class an object, that object will have its own memory, so that the different object of the same class have their own values for the attribute. So if a class generate two or instantiate two objects, then each object has its own memory location, and all attribute values are stored in its own memory locations. So all the two different object has two different attributes values. So if the other class can examine and modify the class attribute, if they need to do some modification, we can't directly we can't change the attributes. Only they can change or read the object state through the operation that define the interface to the object. So if we want to or modify any attributes inside an object, we will make through the operation only. The next one is relationships. There are mainly different types of relationships are there. There are mainly four relationships are there between the class and objects. First one is association. Association occurs between the object that communicate with each other. So association means it's a communication between the object. Here there is no ownership relationship between them. And second point is aggregation. Second relationship is aggregation. It describes a complex object made of smaller objects. So in an aggregation we are saying that a smaller object combined to form a complex object. Then composition is a type of aggregation in which owner does not allow access to the component objects. Then last one is generalization. Here it allows to define one class in terms of another. Another term is inheritance. In UML we are representing a generalization notation is represented here. In this unified modeling language, it defines one class in terms of another class. Here the main class is display, that is known as base class, and display containing the attributes pixel, objects and menu item, and it has operation pixel, set pixel, mouse click and draw box. And from this base class it derived two type of display class. One is black and white display, and second one is color map display. In black and white display, we does not require new attributes or operation. So we just simply left the left as blank in the attribute field and operation field. This VW display inherit all the, or it obtain all the attributes and operation from his base class display. And here it can only work on the 1-bit pixels. Then in the case of a color map display, it uses a graphic device known as color map, which allows the user to select from behaviors. For example, a large number of colors are available. From that we can select one of the color. So that is we add this class, so we define a color map attribute. Here this color map attribute determines how pixel values are mapped onto color display colors. So here we need a color map display. It uses a graphic device known as color map. So we need a new attributes. So we add a new attribute color map into the color map display class. And BW class and color map classes are known as derived class. And this derived class inherit all the attributes and operations from its base class display. And here this is the one form of the generalization that is known as inheritance. A generalization relationship is shown in UML diagram as a arrow. This is an arrow with an open or unfilled arrowhead. This is the representation of a generalization or inheritance. So remember, UML diagram represents inheritance using an arrow with open or unfilled arrowhead. It also supports multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance means one class derived from more than one base class. So this is the diagram representation of multiple inheritance. And here there are two base classes are there. One is speaker and another one is display. These are the two base classes. This is display and this is the speaker are the base classes. From these base classes we are deriving a new class, multimedia display. So display class is used for displaying the content and speaker class is for sound. So all these derived class inherit all the attributes and operations of both these base class, that is speaker class as well as display class. Next is the link and association. Here link describes a relationship between the objects. We need link because often objects do not stand alone. So we need link between the objects. So next term is association. Association is to link as class it to objects. So the link gives the information, the association gives the information about this link. So here is the representation of a link between object and association between the classes. Here it containing two objects, message 1 and message 2, and it containing a class message set. Then when we consider the actual objects in the system, there is a set of messages. Here there are two set of messages are there that keep track of the current number of active messages. So here this message class track the number of messages, active messages, and it points to the active messages. So these links are point to the active messages. In this case, link defines the relation contains. It defines the contain relation. That is, this message contain two object messages or two active messages. That is the link. When we go to generalize into classes, we define the association. So association is between the classes. So here we define an association between a class message set with another class message. Here association is drawn as a line between the two labeled with a name of the association contains. So here we are connecting these messages through a line, and one side containing a board, and also it containing the number of messages contained here. Here it means that 0 or star indicate that 0 or more messages contained. And here one message set is there, and it containing more than 0 or more messages. So this is the association between the classes. And here the message class containing the count, which tracks the number of active messages. The next main point is behavioral description. We have to specify the behavior of the system as well as its structure. So one way to specify the behavior of an operation is here we describe the behavior of the system or the structure of the system. So there are different ways we can specify the behavior of the system or behavior of an operation. One is state machine, another one is sequence diagram, etc. That here figure shows the UML stage. The transition between the stage is shown by a skeleton arrow. So here in this diagram we can show there are two stages are there. One state is A, another state is B. So there is a transition from A to B that is represented by a skeleton arrow. Here it is a node or a comment. It specifies the stage. State is represented by a rectangle and the name of the state is A. Here the state name is B. So this is the representation of state. Then when a state transitions from one state to another occur during the when an event is occur on the one stage, then it transfer from one state to, or transition occurs from one state to another. So the state machine will not rely on the operation of a clock as in hardware, rather its change from one state to another are triggered by the occurrence of an event. So when an event occurs in a one state, it changes its state from that state to another. So the event is some type of an action. So event may be originate from outside the system, such as a user pressing a button, or it may be also originate from inside. Because of some, when we execute one routine, finish its computation and pass the result to another routine, then that routine will be executed. That is, the event may occur in either externally or internally. There are three types of events are defined in UML diagram. One is signal, another one is a call, and third one is a timeout event. So here this is the representation of a signal event. Here it is a signal event, and this one is a call event, and this one is timeout event. What is a signal? Signal is an asynchronous occurrence. It is defined in UML by an object that is labeled as signal. So in a signal is represented as an object and it containing a signal label, and the object in the diagram serve as a declaration of the event's existence. Here the event is mouse click. So this is an object, it is an object. A signal may have parameters that are passed to the signal receiver. So here this is the name of that event, and here the parameters are here. Parameter means left to right, that is button. By mouse click means there is a mouse click operation. So there is a button is the, it has a position, XY position. So either it move from left to right button. So when it is button is click, mouse click is occur, then it moves from one state to another. Here A is the first stage, and when a mouse click is occur, then its state changes from A to B. That is signal event. Then another event is a call event. In call event, it follows a model of procedure call in programming language. In a procedure call, programming language, there is a procedure call. If a, for example, a draw box, this is a procedure function and it containing parameter. When we call this procedure, the program control will be transferred from the main program to that procedure. Same as here, there is a two states are the C and D. When we see call an event, draw box and its value parameters, then its change state from C to D. That is call event. And last one is timeout event. Here the machine to leave a state after a certain amount of time. So here time is given here. So Tm time value. After this time value, it will change the state from E to F. So the label Tm time value on the edge gives the amount of time after which the transition occurs. A timeout is generally implemented with an external timer. These are the different events in a UML. Then this is a state machine for an operation of the display. So we know that state machine represents the state and the transition. So here there is a state. There are two states are there. One is start state and the stop state. This is the start state. This is the start state and this is the stop state. It indicates the start and stop state. We know that in a finite machine, there is a start and stop. In between the start and stop, there are some states that help us to organize the flow of the state machine. So the state in the state machine represents different conceptual operations. So these are the different operations are represented here. So first is start from, when I start state, there is a mouse click, then it find a region. So it starts from start to region found. If a region found, if the region is a menu, then we need to select which menu is. If we got that menu, then we call the menu. Then it execute the called menu. Then stop the state. So if it is a region, if we found a, when we click a mouse, then a region is founded as a drawing. Then we need to find that object to draw. That is, we found that object, then we highlight the object, then object is highlighted and stop the our display. So here there are two types of transitions are there. One is conditional transition and another one is unconditional. There is, we make an unconditional transition to another next stage. Then conditional transition means transition from one state to another based on some input or the result of some computation done in the stage. So this is the representation or operation of the display. Then another way we can represent it, the diagram is using a sequence diagram. Sequence diagram is represented like here. Here in the sequence diagram, diagram shows the what happens when a mouse click is on the menu region. So we can either in this state diagram represents the menu, there is a mouse click on the menu region or a drawing region. So if what happens when a mouse click is take place on the menu region. So here represents the objects are first represents in the first line. So object, what are the different objects? One is mouse, another one is display, another one is menu. So here the object below extending and below each object is shows the lifetime. So a dashed line is here that shows how long the object is alive. There is here a horizontal vertical represents the time, and here in the horizontal line represents the objects. So here in this case all the objects remains alive for the entire sequence. That is when object is actively processing. In this case, when a mouse object is active, only alone enough to create the mouse click event. Here, when the mouse object is only active only when to create the mouse click event. When a mouse click event is activated, the display objects remains a play longer here. Here നമ്മൾ നോക്കിയറിയാം ഇവിടെ ഒബ്ജക്റ്റിനെയാണ് റെപ്രസെൻ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഹൊറിസോണ്ടൽ ആയിട്ട്, വെർട്ടിക്കൽ റെപ്രസെൻ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് നമ്മുടെ ടൈമാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ഓരോ ഈ ഡോട്ടഡ് ലൈൻ ടൈം റെപ്രസെൻ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് ലൈഫ് ലൈനാണ്. എത്ര ടൈം ആ ഒബ്ജക്റ്റ് അലൈവ് ആണ്, ആക്റ്റീവ് ആണെന്ന് ഇൻഡിക്കേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ മൗസ് 3 ഒബ്ജക്റ്റ് ആണുള്ളത്, മൗസ്, ഡിസ്പ്ലേ ആൻഡ് മെനു. മൗസ് ആക്റ്റീവ് ആകുന്ന ടൈം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് അത് ഫസ്റ്റ് ഒരു മൗസ് ക്ലിക്ക് ഒക്കർ ചെയ്യുന്ന ടൈമിലാണ് അത് ആക്റ്റീവ് ആകുന്നത്, അതുവരെയാണ് അത് ആക്റ്റീവ് ആകുന്നത്. ആ മൗസ് ക്ലിക്ക് ഇവൻറ്റ് ഒക്കർ ചെയ്താൽ ഇറ്റ് കോൾസ് എ ടു ഫങ്ഷൻ menu and call menu. So in a menu function we identifies which menu we need to execute, then call that event, menu event call ചെയ്യും. Then ഐഡൻറ്റിഫൈ ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അതിന് ശേഷം എന്ത് ചെയ്യും, ഏത് മെനു ആണെന്ന് ഐഡൻറ്റിഫൈ ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ വി വിൽ കോൾ ദാറ്റ് മെനു. സോ മെനു എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് 2 times ആണ് ആക്ടിവേറ്റ് ആവുന്നത്. അപ്പം ഒന്ന് ഏത് മെനു ആണെന്ന് വൺസ് ഡിറ്റർമിൻ വിച്ച് മെനു ഐറ്റം വാസ് സെലക്റ്റഡ്, ആൻഡ് സെക്കൻഡ് വൺ ടു എക്സിക്യൂട്ട് ദ മെനു കോൾ. സോ നെക്സ്റ്റ് ഇവിടെ ഒരു ഫൈൻഡ് റീജിയൻ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് പറയുന്നത്, ഫൈൻഡ് റീജിയൻ ഫംഗ്ഷൻ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഇറ്റ്സ് കോൾ ഇസ് എ ഇന്റേണൽ ടു ദി ഡിസ്പ്ലേ ഓബ്ജക്റ്റ്. ഇറ്റ് ഡസ് നോട്ട് അപ്പിയർ ഇൻ ദി ഇവൻറ്റ് ഡയഗ്രാം. ദർ ഇസ് എ ഫൈൻഡ് റീജിയൻ എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഫംഗ്ഷൻ. ഫൈൻഡ് റീജിയൻ ഫംഗ്ഷൻ ഈസ് ഇന്റേണൽ ടു ദി display object which find the either it is a menu or a drawing region. Then this all about the sequence diagram. So we can represent a behavioral description using a state diagram or a sequence diagram. Thank you.